I'm losing video. Pull me down. My house is on fire. Sisi yatuma. Sisi yashisangizo.
Good afternoon from New York. I am Selwyn Collins, your host of CWS As It Is. This lovely lady next to me is Anika Abel Rose. Anika, welcome to CWS As It Is.
Thank you.
Anika, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me this afternoon. As you might have heard by now, I'm very passionate about empowering and encouraging young people in Guyana. I believe the youth are our future. You yourself work with young people, but we will get into that. What we are really interested in here this afternoon is in your works with Nick's Phonics Center, a business you
Correct.
started. Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about that? And but before we get there, who is this Anika Abel Rose?
Okay, I am 34 years old. I am a mother of one. I am a teacher and someone who's very passionate about teaching and nurturing young and mature minds as well.
Tell us a little bit about Nick's Phonics Center. How you got started? What is it really?
Next Phonics Center is a part-time school that offers an after-school program for children between the ages of 3 years old to 10 years old. Sometimes we go beyond that. We offer in-house classes and also private tutoring. So what basically we do, we work with students to help them with their phonics to read, write, and also spell, and we try to collaborate with their school teachers so that we can coordinate their work so we can get the best results, because we don't want to teach something different at the center that they're getting from school. So all in all, Next Phonics Center is a place where you come and be assisted to elevate your literacy skills. And we cater for those busy individuals, those parents who sometimes has to put in the extra hours at work or may not be so familiarized with the new teaching method or structures, in these times with technology, etc.
Okay, so you are a teacher and you're interested
Correct.
in educating these young people, elementary and primary, I presume. But
Correct.
but this is a business. This is also a business. Um, what was the trigger that caused you to start your own business?
Well, I hadn't the intention growing up, but working at private schools, I had the first-hand experience of telling parents that their child will no longer be accepted in the school because they're unable to keep up with the school's requirements, or their level of, if you want to say, intelligence is not to the school standard. And that was a very painful thing to do, to, look at a mother or father in their eyes and actually telling them that, your child is not as smart as we are hoping them to be. So that left me to wonder who's going to assist these children. So in thinking of that and going through those process, I decided to open the Phonics Center so that I can be of some assistance to these parents and also these children, so that they don't have to feel, left behind, or that something is definitely wrong with them. Because I personally have been in that situation where I was not the high flyer, in my class, and it breaks you emotionally, even though you're a child. You feel, really different. So that is what inspired me to open the center to assist, whoever needed that help.
What was it like in the beginning? How did your friends react, your family react, and then more importantly, how did the parents of some of these students react?
In terms of friends and family, I had everybody's word of support, but when it comes to the actual
Excuse
financing
me.
and setting up, the business, it was very difficult. You get applause from everybody, but then when something or a gesture or an ID actually comes into realization, then you actually get to see, who's really there for you and who's not. But the thing is, I did not allow it to break me down. I I built from the bottom up, pushed myself. I took loans where I could have gotten it to help to push the business as well. When parents, in terms, heard of the center and what I did, they were very much pleased because I was coming from area where, like I said, I knew what it is and how it felt. So they were pretty much happy to know that somebody's actually putting into consideration their feelings and also their child's feeling, and trying to help, reach out and help in any way possible. So parents were very welcoming to it. Um, like I said at the beginning, I was a bit blindsided. I had nobody to tell me what the business world was like, and those who were in business, they don't ever give you the real reality. So there's a lot of things I learned on my own, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful.
Share with us, if you don't mind, some of those challenges, some of those earlier challenges, and how you might, well, not necessarily how you overcome them, but because in the interest of time, we probably don't have much time. But tell us about a few of those challenges, and maybe you could pick one and zero in on how you overcome that particular one.
Okay, sure. One of the challenges that I experience is that when you open a business, it's just not about getting a place, renting it, setting it up, and everything is just gonna happen or fall into place. There's a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes, whereby you have to get your business registered, you have to deal with NIS, you have GRA. In terms of my business, you have interjection from social protection and all these things, whereby a few persons may know of it, but they did not share it with you, or nobody actually holds your hand and walk you to, these organizations and help you with it. You have to find your way through. And I think one of the disadvantage that I was at, I hadn't that family member that was in business that could have guided me, or that uncle or auntie that was high in places that give you that link, and you get things much faster and easier. So everything I had to explore on my own. It was very challenging because the thing is, when you walk into an establishment and nobody knows you or who you are, because you're new into the business world, nobody pays you much attention, nobody takes you seriously. You understand? And because of that, it allowed me to find my voice of command many times, to actually know how to get my message over. And also, another big contributor to helping me where I'm at today is Action Coach, whereby Mr. Duga, he coached and assisted me along with his team, Mr. Smith and others, because I was very much blindsided into the business world. But like I said, I never give up because I'm a person where I don't have a plan B. So there's no other option but to win.
What kept you going, though? Where did you get this courage to continue? Was it more um, a determination to help these young children, or was it more? Well, it's not an either or, but I'm going to just give you some points there to help these young children that you know are a little bit disenfranchised, um, because you must succeed. Um, what was it? What kept you going?
So what kept me going was the results of the what I was seeing, that when students came, I started the business alone before I even employed staff due to finances. And the results, because what I do at the end of the term, I would ask for the report card to see their progress. So when you saw that these students were excelling, you get a comfort, or you felt accomplished. And right then and there, it struck me that I'm on the right path. I am doing something good and I am seeing the results from it. And that persuaded me to not stop and to continue. And at one point, as I would share with others, I was eventually running a charity school, whereby a lot of persons who needed the assistance with their children could not have afforded it. So what I had to do was I kept the center open, but behind the scenes, when the center was closed, I did private tutoring in the evening. So I would go home with other students and teach them. And that money was the money that I used to pay rent, etc. So up to a time, I had to, get a grip of myself and realize that yes, even though I want to help everybody, I still had to have a form of structure. But because of my passion and the results that I was seeing from my students' report and the progress that they were getting, that is what maintain that drive, and it continues. It's beyond teaching is a work from the heart. So definitely, if you're not in it to see progress and it's just about the money, you wouldn't last long enough, or you wouldn't get the results that you're looking for. So that was my drive, seeing their progress.
We talk about the business aspect of it, but let us talk about the actual process, the teaching, the phonics. Um, Everybody should know, but I'm going to assume we don't. What is phonics, and why did you get into it?
So phonics is teaching of letter sounds, how to put them together, making blends and special sounds, and merging them with another vowel or consonant to make words. And when you learn your sounds properly, it then stems into teaching you how to spell those words. Once you're able to recognize and spell words, it makes your reading much easier. And then it stems way on to that, whereby it we teach you as well how to form your letters properly. So that is letter writing, letter formation, and it continues. So as you progress in school from different level, your foundation is so solid that you can focus actually on other subject areas that you need to, and not have to worry about your reading or your spelling, or even if you're faced with challenging words, you know how to break them up in syllables so that you can spell them easier or understand them easier.
Any tips for parents who want their children to learn phonics?
Pardon me?
Any tips for parents who want to enroll their children or who want their children to learn by using phonics?
My tips to parents would be make it fun. The same devices that they use to watch cartoons or the television, you put videos on it. There are endless videos on YouTube. You load it there, make it fun for them. You get involved with it. Get involved with them actually. You dance to it. Find some way around. Use serials, make letters, show them letter formation. As long as it is fun for children, you will get their attention. But if you just make it all to be um, paper and pen, most children, you'll lose their attention, because we understand it's a changing world with technology and everybody's at a fast pace. But sometimes we need to remember their age and their level and the level of their mentality. So for our parents, just make it fun. Have fun with them, and that too will allow you to have child time there, because we know sometimes parents are busy, you're not getting that time. So you look at it like you're bonding. It's a time to bond, and then you too will feel good about yourself that you've been able to instill something, even if it's just one letter. It will make so much difference. So spend time with them and make learning fun for them as well. If not, you have centers like mine who can assist you in doing so.
Since you've started, what has been your greatest surprise so far?
Since I've started, the greatest surprise for me has been the recognition that I've been getting, not only from parents, but from the outside media, etc., like yourself, because I'm a very low key person. I don't really look for a lot of recognition, because that's not the reason why I went into business. And for the first year when the school opened in 2015, I hide behind the business name. Like, I would put my assistant to be the face of the business. And after, when I saw the reaction, from a lot of persons being interested to know who's behind the center, who's behind the work, because most of my clients that I get is based on referrals. So that too took me by surprise. I don't push a lot with advertising, and I'm comfortable with that. I think to promote a business or to know that your business is on the right track and you're getting the right response, it's through the referral, having your clients, giving testimonial of your work and showing the actual physical work of the child's report card. So that was one of the biggest, for me, the recognition that I received.
At what point did you realize you were on the right track? You were doing the right thing?
When I had a few students who actually, well, they did not quit, but their parents took them out from the school that they were attending and brought them to the center for full time. And I was asking, what is happening here? We're a part time school. And that's when they explained to me that what our children are learning here in a few hours, they're not getting it from their school, that they're almost for the entire day. And also, I had a few students that came from other institutions that they were not able to read and write and had some physical challenges. At first, I did not want to take on that role since it was not my specialty, but I tried to help in any way that I could. And eventually, they started to learn their names and stuff like that. And that was very impressive for me, very much impressive. So, the teaching, actually, it is a very challenging job,
Hmm.
but it pushes your boundary. And if you're determined, you'll be surprised the strength that you have within you to mold and change a young mind.
So often we think that teaching or learning is a one-way stream from the adult to the children or the child. What can you share with us that you have learned from these children?
What I've learned from these children is that I'm not just a teacher to them. They look up to you as a role model, sometimes as a parent, a guardian. And when I was working full time at a private school, I found myself a few times keeping children in the sense of bringing them to my home, providing food and shelter because of some issue the parents may have or be going through. So it in turns it makes you look back at yourself as I'm not just a teacher, or is this what I actually signed up for? Because this is not the detail of being a teacher. So sometimes it allows you to step out of your boundary. That is if you're willing to do that. And it takes you beyond the descriptive role of being a teacher. So you're a mentor, you're a doctor, because if they fall or injure themselves, you have to take on the responsibility of being a doctor. And like I said, a parent, a guardian. So it's a very wide task.
When is the last time your students made you really laugh?
That would be last week, whereby I was fixing something on the wall. So I had to climb up on a piece of furniture, and three of them were having a conversation about liking teachers, because something I do, once you work really hard, I usually give them treats, whether it's a cupcake, it's a pencil case, whatever it is, because like adults, children like to be rewarded too for their hard work. So they were discussing if they're going to be rewarded for any work today. And I was listening, and then one of them said, you know what? I like teacher Shaniqua. So I turned around and like teacher Shaniqua, and everybody started like, oh, I thought it was Anika. I didn't know it was teacher Shaniqua. So that was a new name for me. And then before the end of the day, I got a card that they all made collectively with the name. So I put it on my wall as a reminder that whoever they're seeing me as, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm getting the results I want from them and they're happy and they can feel comfortable in the work environment and produce the results that, their parents are looking for as well.
When you first meet the child and its parent, what are you looking for? What are you assessing?
So when I first meet a parent and the child, when you call to register, let me go back a bit. When you call to have a child registered, we would invite you to come in with the child. So we can have a meet and greet session with that child so that when that child is ready to start the center, we've already had that process whereby they can feel comfortable. They know who they're going to meet and expect because the teacher would introduce herself to the child. And we'll have a one on one with the parent as well. So, whilst another teacher is taking up the attention of the child, I would take the task or another teacher to find out from the parent what is it exactly you're looking to perfect in this child? Is it just the basic phonics or is it the handwriting? So that we can get directly to that area that the parent is looking to perfect. And also we ask you to walk with some of the work materials from the school so that we can see as well the type of work they're doing, the level, what they're coping with. So when we personalize their tutoring, we know how to structure their studies. And from time to time, we'll check in with the parents and have the parents as well be a part of their learning. So we would encourage the parents sometimes to come in to see when we're giving them awards, or we will post it on our Facebook page so that parents can also see because we know they're busy and you still want to be a part of that child's life. And another thing that we do, we ask if it's okay with you for us to record the child when the child is working, and then we send the video to you via WhatsApp. So you can still be present even though you're not there physically.
You
So
meant
these are the steps we walk you through.
that is interesting. You mentioned ask permission to record the child. Why is that important that you ask permission?
I think it is important because in the changing world, everybody sees things sometimes out of context, and we don't want to be in any bracket of discriminating anyone. At the end of the day, the center is a place where children come for assistance. We don't like to say help. You come for assistance. And sometimes parents may not be so comfortable with the outside public or somebody else seeing that their child is attending there, the center. So we try to respect their privacy on that as well, because at the end of the day, we want them to be comfortable. We want the child to be comfortable. And we try to keep that teacher parent bond very tight knit. So we want to make sure everybody's comfortable and there's no unnecessary exposure to, taking out a child's picture or posting any video or stuff like that. So it is very important to ask permission for anything that, you're going to do.
What would you say is your vision for the center?
Pardon me?
What is your vision for the center?
The business for the center?
No, your vision. What is your vision for the center?
Oh, the vision for my center.
Mhm.
The vision for my center would be to mold as much mind as we could in the most fun way, but not only for the center alone. I would like to collaborate with other organizations because, like I said, through play, something that I've started doing when I have summer programs, I would invite different instructors from different organizations, whether it's a karate instructor or a music teacher, to come and be a part of the summer school so that they cannot, it's not just about learning the academics, you have a fun side of it. And I think if everybody work together as a team, we can make a difference. So I very much hope for my center to push in that direction, and we are working in that direction to help to change and mold a lot of minds and make learning back fun. Like it used to be when we were young. It just be fun.
You mentioned in the beginning how challenging it was to get funding and different forms of assistance. But how can the government or the private sector help you to enlarge your vision or to realize your vision?
From the government, I probably with subsidy from the private institution or sector. What I mostly like, because I don't want in terms of the actual money, but if they can sponsor, let's say, materials, or let's say uh, a avenue or a building, a premise or something where we want to host, whether it's a workshop or a summer program or just a fun day, so they can pitch in terms of renting materials, as in the trampoline or snacks, stuff like that, I think would help in collaborating because most times when you're talking about sponsorship, persons actually think you want them to write you a check and give it to you. But I want, if I'm looking for sponsorship or a collaboration, I want you to be involved in the sense that help me, let's work as a team, not just, tear a check and give it to me and it's all about me and, be involved in that aspect. I'll know that you're in this, you're genuinely you want to contribute and be a part of it. So that's how in terms I would look for sponsorship or collaboration.
I'm going to put you on the spot a bit right now. So if you had the president of Guyana and the minister of education listening to you or sitting right in front of you, what are two things would you like to tell them?
What I'd like to say is that I think we need to revise some of the work scheme and work strategies that are being put out and sometimes take it back a notch and remember the type of economy that we have. Take a look at the type of meals our children would be eating and why sometimes their brain are not functioning to the level that we want it to work at, and also sometimes take consideration into the roles of teachers, the hardship sometimes that they go through, putting work life most time in front of their personal life. As a teacher, I'm sure a lot of teachers can relate. We even take materials from our personal home and take it to work, to ensure that your lesson comes across, as perfect as you want it to be. So I think that a lot of times you need to have teachers involved, not just the head teachers of school, but actual teachers that are in the classroom doing the work. Have their voice, be heard, listen to their opinion, listen to their strategies and what they have to, their input on how to make the system a bit better. I think if we have everybody's interjection, we can't fulfill all. We don't expect, them to fulfill all, but it will make a difference. I know it will make a difference.
Anika, if you were to sit in front of me 5 years from now, telling me about your accomplishments, what is one particular accomplishment would you be telling me?
One of the accomplishments would be, hey, I've gone regional. So we have many branches now of reaching to students out of course. So we get to more minds because one of the challenge that I'm having is one of the challenges is that because I just have one location, I have students coming from Mary, some coming from the West Coast, East Coast, Linden. So sometimes it makes it a bit hard because they're very young, but because the assistance is needed. So I'm presently working ongoing regionally and as well as providing more job opportunities for teachers so they can have more income on the side to do whatever they want. And also by then I'll be open for more suggestions from teachers and other persons, in the educational field on how to better my school and better the educational system for students. So the next 5 years, yes, I can assure you that is a definite happening.
Anika, thank you. Look forward to
You're
speaking with you on Tuesday.
You're welcome, Mr. Collins.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.